Welcome back to MFO, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Boy, I got a story to tell you, and this is coming from a day on the water that I wish I had the GoPro out there, because what I learned out on the water on Lake Geneva on that day was just, it reaffirms everything that we talk about fall fishing. And it happened. I learned it. The only unfortunate part is I didn't have a camera to actually show you, but we're going to talk about it inside the barn bait shop today, and I'm going to be able to kind of show you what I did. So guys, stick around and we'll be back right after this. You're going to want to hear about one change, and the fishing day went from no fish to catching 5 in a couple of hours. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher. So we were on Lake Geneva and throwing a jerkbait, and we were basically keeping the boat out in 20 feet of water, but casting in to the break. The break came, about 8 feet, dropping down into 20. So we were pretty much casting, trying to target fish that were around the break, but definitely casting into about 8 feet of water. And I was using a Vision 110 jerkbait, mega bass jerkbait. This is the bait itself, and you can see, I think this is, what is that color? I'm pretty sure it's Table Rock Shad. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm not exactly sure. Hey guys, let me interrupt just for a second. I just want to remind you, if you haven't, check out yesterday's video. It was about the Core Tackle Black Friday sale. If you buy $50 worth of Core Tackle products, you're getting 20% off. If you buy $100 worth of Core Tackle products, you're getting 30% off. If you buy $150 worth of Core Tackle products, you're getting 40% off. But if you take advantage of that sale and you email me a screenshot of your receipt, I will send you a Phoenix hat, I will send you a Core Tackle swim jig, and I will send you a gift certificate to Bass Pro Shop. So on top of a 40% discount, you're going to get those 3 items from me just for taking advantage of the Core Tackle Black Friday sale. Remember, you have to order through the Core Tackle website, and you have to make your order sometime between now and the end of November. Get on that Core Tackle Black Friday sale. It is a great opportunity for you to get all those great Core Tackle products at a huge, huge discount. All right, let's get back to this story. I'd be working at jerkbait. I never got bit. However, several times working that jerkbait back, and that jerkbait would be about 10 yards from the boat, or 10 feet, 10, 20 feet from the boat, and I would see 1, 2, 4 smallies following that jerkbait. And they were probably about, anywhere between a foot and 3 feet behind the jerkbait, just following it. And at one point, there were 4 fish following this jerkbait back. And then as soon as they got close to the boat and they realized that the boat was right there, they stopped following it and wouldn't come any closer and wouldn't do anything, and then would kind of go off. This happened multiple times where I had fish following the bait, but they were not committing, and I did not get one bite on the Vision 110 jerkbait. Well, guess what? I switched over, and I switched over to a Rapala. So you can see that the coloring scheme is pretty much the same. The difference is that this is a much smaller bait than the Vision 110. Smaller in length by about 1 inch. And guess what? If I didn't proceed within the first 5 minutes of making that change to catch smallmouth, I stayed with that bait, and I ended up catching 5 in the next 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, using the smaller presentation as opposed to the larger. This bait did not dive deeper Didn't do, it was just a smaller profile. In fact, there was a part of me that wanted to go even smaller. I was thinking about going even smaller, but I ended up staying with this profile. And the smaller the profile, the more fish that I caught. Now, admittedly, none of the fish were big 3 or 4 pound bass, but I was catching keeper size smallies using the smaller profile jerkbait. And I think this goes back and just reiterates what we're in the fall. It's very, very important to downsize all of your baits. But I think that this was telling in that I had the right color, I had everything going on. They definitely were being called up and they were in the right place. I was fishing the right location. I was definitely seeing the fish. They weren't committing to this bigger style. But the minute I downsized to get similar to the bait fish that the fish were actually feeding on, then I started getting strikes. So guys, don't be afraid to downsize your baits regardless of what bait it is. As long as if you're imitating any kind of bait fish, you want to downsize, and that goes for your jerkbait as well. So that's just today's tip. It was something, like I said, I wish I had the camera to show it because it was such a learning experience for me. And it was like literally turning the light switch on after it had been off for half hour, 40 minutes of no bites. And then all of a sudden I was right where I needed to be doing the right thing. So guys, I appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow for another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. We've got our deer hunting episode coming out tomorrow. It's not on the water Wednesday. It's not underwater Wednesday. It's in the woods Wednesday coming up tomorrow. Be sure to check that out. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.